Hey guys, Doug the Retirement Guy. Should I invest into NEOS S&P 500 High Income ETF, SPYI? They're showing a 12% dividend return. We're going to check into that today and see if this is a fund that you want to have in your retirement account. But before we get into this, we just want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel. We got a bunch of new subscribers. We've added something new. You want to help the community get even stronger? Hit our Patreon button in the description below. A simple $1, $2, $5 can go a long way helping this show continue on. But let's get into it today. The NEOS S&P 500 is a high income ETF. It's called SPYI. The neat thing about the NEOS program is they follow the S&P 500, almost carbon copying it. And instead of just buying the stocks and sitting and holding, what they do is they sell the covered calls on these stocks, which generates the income. They also do some different things with tax rates of trying to lower the tax that's being charged on the advantages of buying and selling and so on. So they work out some great advantages with the whole program. They do pay a monthly dividend, and they're advertising a 12.01% dividend return. Their expense rate is only 0.68%, and their 30-day yield, though, is 0.69. We like the low expense ratio. And I actually looked deeper into this one, and we'll cover here in a second, but the 30-day SEC yield seemed very low to me for this fund. We look into the securities, and this is the one that blew me away. I start at the bottom, but they have 509 total holdings. If I'm not mistaken, the S&P 500 only has 513. So they're pretty much right in line with what the S&P is doing. So this gives you the top 10 holdings. Of course, you're going to see the Apple, the Microsoft, the Amazons, the Metas, all the big boys right at the top. But they do it in, very well balanced across the board. So why SPYI? Well, again, SPYI shows and gives a strong 18.73% total return. Now, always that total return is the income and the capital gains over a specific period of time. So when we say that, that's your dividends, that's any interest, money that they've had tied into it. If they put money into any kind of bonds, all that comes rolling into it to get your total of 18.73%. Now that 0.68% 30-day SEC yield. Now we always know that SEC yield is one of those things that it tells you how much cash or the idea of you're going to have some cash coming in the next 30 days. The problem is when you grab this number and they do the calculation onto it, did they just roll over their inventory? Did they just sell a bunch of covered calls? What did they actually do? And when I looked deeper into it, found out the SPYI, their timing is off. When they get their 30-day SEC yield, they're at a recycling point that they're refilling their coffins or they're sold through items. So it looks like these guys aren't going to have much money coming through when they actually do, because they advertise and should promote a 12.01 dividend return, which is a nice return for a retirement account. Now, as I said, they do a monthly dividend payout, which on the channel here, we like monthlies at a minimum. Weeklies are awesome, but monthlies are what's really common right now. Now, we always say that's not a guaranteed, because they do not have to pay a dividend each and every time. But there's two things you can do with a monthly, and this is why we like them so much. The first one, reinvesting potential. That every month you can take and reinvest your dividends back into new stocks or the existing same stocks and help try to take that money and roll it into additional income. Now, here on the channel, we like the regular cash flow because in your retirement, you got bills that show up every month. You need something to pay with it. Well, if you get your stocks paying you dividends on a regular monthly basis, you will have the money to pay those bills. And that's why we like the regular cash flow over this. Now here's the other thing. The SPY has been out since August of 22. So that's about a year and a half of returns. So it gives us a track history that we can go back onto and look at the performance of it and see if they got this thing dialed in. The return on SPYI, and we take a look at this one now, was at 1 month out, it's 2.42%. Not bad for 1 month. You look at 3 months, you're at 4.94. Still a solid, solid return. 6 months, you're at 9.08%. Then when you go to 1 year out, 19.85%, and since inception, 14.53. Some very positive, very strong numbers in this program. So what we always do is we take and put $10,000 into an account, and we could basically go back 12 months and say, hey, look, if we invested $10,000 into this account, how many shares would we buy, and what would happen? So a year ago, it would be $48.56 a share. So we'd be able to buy about 205, almost 206 shares. Now the value of our stock over the 12 months has gained, and we've gone up 6.1%, or $609.56. So that's just a pure value gain of our stock market of 6.1%. Now, if you also look at this one, as we said, it pays a great dividend, and the dividend pretty much runs between that 49 cent up to about 56 cents. On an average, is right around that 50 to 51 cent program. With that alone, you're going to pick up another $1,265.51, or 12.66% in the dividend return. And then you take a total return, add those two together, you get 18.75. Now let's take a look at the price adjustment over time. And what you can see is SPY is a solid growth. The average price was $50.34. You can see what I've always called is kind of a mountain climber, is that they go up a mountain, and of course you got to go down the mountain to get to the next mountain, down to the next bigger mountain, to where they've got the nice plateau at the top. So they're holding high. Morningstar risk gives this thing a 42, which is moderate. It's 42 out of 100. So it's a little high onto it, but still in that moderate range, which is okay for a retirement account. So is SPY good for your retirement account? And the answer has to be definitely yes. You have a solid 12.66 dividend return, which is a great return. You have on top of that, you're getting a nice 6.1% growth over the value of your account. So it's continuously growing. As everyone always says, inflation's there. That's taking care of your inflation. That's taking care of it. And if somewhere down the road that you needed to sell this, you're going to have more money in the account to go ahead and sell off some of the stocks. So we put this as a very strong buy.
I hope this information comes to you, helping you out making that decision. This is Doug, the retirement guy. If you like what we're doing, man, just give us a thumbs up. It helps the channel across the board. Hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a single video that we produce. And you know what? Leave comments down below. This video came to you from one of our viewers who left a comment and said, could you do a review on this? I'd like to see if this one's worth being involved into. And so we hopefully give that information that you need. Everything helps grow the channel. Guys, I thank you and look forward to talking to you next time.